mean, what actually happens to your brain when the person grading your final exam is suddenly like sitting in the desk right next to you taking the exact same test?
You completely lose your mind. You panic.
You panic, right? Well, babes, I literally cannot breathe right now. I'm hyperventilating in the studio. We need medics, we need oxygen, we need a full psychological evaluation of literally every single producer at World of Wonder.
Completely. It's sick.
Because Drag Race Down Under versus the World Season 1 just premiered, and the sheer level of camp, the unhinged international tension, the absolute shock value of it all, I am spiraling. Like, I am fully, completely spiraling out of control.
Breathe, mama. Just take a sip of your drink and center your chakras. Yeah. But honestly, valid.
It's so crazy.
It is. I have been analyzing reality television strategies for years and dropping an Emmy-winning producer into the workroom as a competitor. It is a psychological warfare tactic we have literally never seen before. My jaw has been on the floor for the last 72 hours.
Babes, welcome back. This one's for the queens, the kings, the gays, the theys, literally every fabulous babe tuning in from wherever you are listening. Welcome to another gathering of the Snark Squad.
The only squad that matters, honestly.
Period. Now, Snark Squad, I need you to know that we have passion fruit spritzes on deck in the studio today. We usually go for something a little more understated, maybe an iced coffee or a vodka soda, but tonight's premiere.
It deserves something bright.
Bright, bubbly, and incredibly extra.
It demands extravagance, babe. It demands a tiny umbrella in my glass, which I absolutely have, by the way.
Cheers for you, bestie. And a toast to another fabulous evening tearing apart television's finest drag artistry while we spill the tea.
Cheers, Gorge. May our opinions be sharp and our cocktails be strong.
Okay, now, before we get into the sequins and the sewing machines, we actually need to talk to the Snark Squad about the absolute chaos of our morning. We need to talk about how we accidentally became morning people today.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Please don't remind me.
And when I say morning people, I mean we woke up ridiculously early for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
It was a sickness. It was a literal disease that possessed my body.
Right.
I woke up, I looked at the clock, I saw the number 5, and instead of doing the healthy, normal, sane thing, which is obviously closing my eyes and going back to sleep, I somehow convinced myself I was going to be a productive adult.
Yes, the delusion, the sheer caffeine-induced delusion. We were texting each other at like 5:15 a.m. You were like, oh, make it a pour-over coffee? And I was just standing in my kitchen, staring out the window, just looking at the streetlights.
Contemplating life choices.
Literally. But I was comparing this feeling earlier.
Yeah.
Those 15 minutes of peaceful morning silence. It's exactly like the calm before a lip sync.
Oh, that's such a good comparison.
Right? It's that eerie, quiet moment when the lights dim, the queens are in position, you can hear a pin drop, and it just feels magical. You have main character energy. But immediately after those 15 minutes, reality just starts attacking you.
Exactly. You were standing there feeling perfectly serene, and then boom, the beat drops, the sirens wail, and suddenly you are fighting for your life against an inbox that wants you eliminated.
The emails. The Slack notifications?
The emails come in, the notifications ping, and you realize being a 5 a.m. person isn't an actual personality trait. It is a fake aesthetic sold to us by wellness influencers.
Exactly. And by 2:00 p.m. today, we were crashing so hard, which perfectly explains the great grocery store adventure that happened right before we got to the studio.
Oh my God, the grocery store.
Narc Squad, you have to understand, we just needed to stop and get literally 2 things for the studio. Water, maybe a mint.
Why is it scientifically impossible to leave a grocery store with only what is on the list? We walked in for water and suddenly you are pushing a cart. Why do we have a cart, Mama?
Because you cannot blame me when a random artisanal truffle-infused popcorn magically jumps off the shelf, looks you right in the eye, and whispers your name.
It did not whisper your name.
It did. And I watched you spend 10 full minutes, 10 actual minutes of our precious fleeting youth standing in the produce section deciding what fruit looked the freshest. You were inspecting avocados like you were appraising diamonds at Cartier.
Excuse me for having standards. Okay, you cannot just trust the top layer of the fruit pile. You have to dig. You have to check the firmness and the color gradient.
The color gradient of an avocado.
Yes, and the real tragedy of this entire excursion was the self-checkout machine.
Oh, God. Trigger warning, please.
I'm serious. We scan the fruit, we scan the water, we scan the completely unnecessary truffle popcorn, and this machine in front of God and everyone in Sydney loudly accuses us of an unexpected item in the bagging area. The sheer disrespect.
It was yelling. It practically called you a thief in robot language.
I was like, the only unexpected item here is the audacity of this machine. The little red light starts flashing, and the attendant has to come over and scan her badge while visibly judging our snack choices.
It's so embarrassing. And we walked out, looked at the receipt, and wondered how we spent so much money while buying basically nothing. Grocery shopping is no longer an errand, babes. It is an extreme sport.
It really is. It takes a toll on the nervous system.
But speaking of unexpected items in the bagging area, it actually got me thinking, if we were to rebrand ourselves, pack a bag, and present our ultimate drag personas to the world, what are we giving them? Let's talk about our drag names, bestie.
Oh, I have been ready for this question my entire life. My drag name is Lexi Icon.
Lexi Icon.
Yeah.
Lexicon. Okay, wordplay. I see it.
Because I have a vocabulary and I am an icon.
Humble, as always.
Always. My signature runway aesthetic is strictly architectural, avant-garde, Mugler-inspired construction.
Yeah.
Sharp shoulders, corsetry so tight it alters my internal organs, and fabrics that look like they were forged in a laboratory.
So you're giving us unapproachable alien realness. Very warm, very inviting.
I don't want them to invite me. I want them to fear me. My entrance line. I walk in wearing a helmet made of shattered mirrors. I take it off, look around the room completely disgusted, and say, I'd ask who my competition is, but I don't see any.
Oh, the girls would hate you immediately.
That's the goal. For my talent show, I would do a live 60-second outfit construction. I would take a bolt of fabric, wrap it, pin it, and strut off stage in a fully realized couture gown while the judges weep at my sheer talent.
Delusion. You can't even sew a button on your own jacket. You would staple a curtain to your leg and call it fashion.
It's a fantasy, babe. Let me live.
Okay, fair. What about Snatch Game?
For Snatch Game, which, Snark Squad, is the iconic celebrity impersonation challenge where queens have to be quick-witted, I'm doing Anna Wintour, just sitting behind oversized sunglasses, glaring at everyone and holding up a sign that says florals for spring.
Right.
Groundbreaking.
Actually, that's pretty good.
And for my lip sync, Vogue by Madonna. Clean, precise, devastatingly arrogant. What about you, Gorge?
Okay, my drag name is Ophelia Feelings.
Oh, wait. I hate how much that actually fits you.
Right. Because I am emotional, I fall in love with every queen story. I cry at every single runway critique.
You really do?
I do. My signature runway aesthetic would be romantic, sweeping, gothic tulle gowns.
Right.
Very Miss Havisham meets Florence and the Machine. Layers of distressed chiffon, maybe a little smudge of mascara like I've been crying beautifully in a haunted mansion.
So your aesthetic is literally just clinically depressed Victorian ghost. Groundbreaking.
It's called evocative, bestie. My entrance line would be, I walk in wearing a giant veil, pull it back slowly, and whisper, did somebody order a tragedy?
Okay, I'm kind of living for the drama.
Thank you. For my talent show, I would do a dramatic spoken word lip sync to a voice note from my ex, interspersed with contemporary interpretive dance.
That is a fast track to the bottom two, mama. RuPaul would be looking for the trapdoor under your feet.
How dare you? It's art. And for Snatch Game, I would do Drew Barrymore. Just prying, laughing, and eating of a prop flower.
Oh, that's actually spot on.
And my lip sync for your life song, My Immortal by Evanescence. I would just lie on the floor and weep until they told me to shanty.
Wow. Ophelia Feelings and Lexi Icon. The double elimination of the century.
But babes, enough about our imaginary drag careers. Let's head down under, where charisma, uniqueness, nerve, talent, and a little bit of absolute chaos are taking over the runway.
Let's spill the tea, because this premiere episode gave us everything we didn't know we needed.
Let's start right at the top, the workroom, the vibe down under. Besky, can we talk about the fact that this franchise finally got a budget?
The glow-up is so real. The lighting in that workroom actually looks like television lighting, and not like they are filming in the basement of a haunted pub in Melbourne.
Yes.
The colors are popping, the pinks are vibrant. It looks like an international stage now.
It felt so fresh. Though if you're scrolling the threads, you know the fans on Reddit violently hated the winner portraits on the wall.
Oh, they were out for blood over those portraits, because they were clearly AI generated.
They look so weird.
When you use AI programs like Midjourney to generate art, it often struggles with hyper-specific human details, like the fingers are slightly blurry, the irises are asymmetrical, the lighting on the hair doesn't match the background at all. The Snark Squad online was saying, say what you want about the old Polly Pocket-sized sets from Season 1, but at least production used to print real, beautiful photographs of the winner's circle. It felt a little dystopian.
It is wild that they couldn't just get Spanky Jackson and Isis Avis Loren into a photo shoot for 5 minutes. Just take a picture.
Literally just use an iPhone.
But beyond the AI mess, I have to talk about the very opening of the episode. It was a global dedication to the memory of franchise alum Maxi Shield.
Yeah, that really hit hard.
It genuinely did. I had to pause the episode for a second. For our listeners who might be new to the Down Under franchise, Maxi was such a light on her season. Just this incredible, warm, big-hearted, fiercely talented queen who brought so much joy to the screen and to the entire Australian drag scene.
Absolutely.
Losing her so recently was a massive blow to the community. Seeing that tribute right at the start, it was a beautiful, necessary way to open this international stage. She paved the way for this moment. We are sending so much love to her family and all the queens who called her a sister.
A true legend. It grounded the episode right away, reminding us that behind all this snark and competition, these are real artists who build real families together.
Exactly. But you know, Maxi would want us to celebrate the absolute madness of this cast. And what a cast. Let's get into this international roster arriving.
Let's start with the immediate, and I mean immediate, reignition of the Season 1 beef. Coco Jumbo and Art Simone.
I screamed 4 years later, and the grudges are still so fresh.
Coco walks in, looking stunning, by the way, and she immediately reminds everyone watching that her biggest claim to fame was kicking Art Simone out of the competition on episode 3.
She couldn't wait to bring it up.
And then Art Simone walks in, and her entire entrance is basically reminding everyone that Coco may have eliminated her, but Art mysteriously came back to the competition anyway.
It is the defining mystery of Down Under Season 1. For the Snark Squad members who missed it, nobody knows why Art was allowed back.
Literally zero explanation.
Usually when a queen returns, they have to win a lip-sync battle against other eliminated queens, or there's a specific challenge, right?
Right.
So with Art, RuPaul literally just walked into the workroom, pointed at the door, and Art walked back in. No explanation. And the tension between them, Coco saying they've been on tour for 4 years, they're best friends, it's all water under the bridge. And then cut to confessional, Art is like, I am triggered, I have a score to settle.
It is reality TV gold. You cannot produce that level of authentic annoyance. But speaking of reality TV gold, Mama Nicole Paige Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia.
NPB, the absolute icon, the myth, the legend. First of all, the fans clocked it immediately. She walked into that workroom wearing a literal Evie Oddly really extensive fashion dress.
For context, Evie Oddly is the winner of US Season 11, and her finale look featured this incredibly weird, structural, mirrored headpiece and dress. NPB showing up in a replica of a winner's gown is such a layered cross-franchise reference.
She looked so good. And her energy. Unmatched. She sits down, clearly jet-lagged out of her mind, and proudly announces that back on All Stars, she packed a wardrobe, but no personality. This time, she packed a wardrobe and a personality.
I want to break down the psychology of that entrance line because it's brilliant. She is the oldest queen there. She knows the younger queens might underestimate her. By walking in and immediately claiming her flaws from her past season, she completely disarms them.
So smart.
She basically told the room, I know exactly who I am, I'm here for the crown, and I'm here to steal your jewelry. I love a queen who doesn't pretend she's there to make friends.
Okay, now we have to talk about M1's Jade So. The Filipina goddessa of the Vortexa planet.
The female Jesus. Her words, not mine.
Her entrance was everything. The visual, the aura, the way she was making up words that don't even exist. Dickiana, goddessification.
Yeah.
But Snark Squad, before we dive deep into Jade's phenomenal run this episode, we want to take a very real, empathetic moment.
Yes,
Right before this premiere aired, Jade posted some highly concerning content on her social media and announced an indefinite hiatus for her mental health. The entire drag community was holding its breath. We want to explicitly state that World of Wonder and her team have confirmed she is safe, she is surrounded by support, and she's receiving the professional care she needs.
Mental health in this industry is no joke. The pressure of international fame, the sudden spotlight, the weight of the fandom, it takes a massive toll. We love Jade, we are obsessed with her artistry, and we fully support her taking all the time she needs away from the stage to heal.
100%.
Her
well-being is the only thing that matters, and we know she'd want us to celebrate the absolute slayage she brought to this television screen. Because, babe, She brought it.
She absolutely did. Now, from one icon to the most jarring entrance in Drag Race history.
Raven. I screamed so loud.
I spiraled completely. The workroom door opens, and it's Raven, RuPaul's Emmy-winning personal makeup artist, a resident producer of the franchise, walking in as a competitor.
The girls were visibly sweating. Did you see the sheer panic in their eyes? The fans on Reddit are losing their minds. They're like, she practically signs their paychecks. How is she competing?
Let's talk about the psychological warfare of this, because it is fascinating. A resident producer on a reality show isn't just someone who holds a clipboard. They are intimately involved in crafting the story arcs, understanding the lighting cues, and knowing exactly what the judges, especially RuPaul, want to see.
Right, they know all the secrets.
They are the authority. You put Raven in that room, and immediately every other queen feels like they're being graded by the principals.
Right, it fundamentally disrupts the peer dynamic.
Exactly. Instead of a room full of equals sizing each other up, you have an authority figure in the mix. The international girls are already nervous, dealing with imposter syndrome on a global stage, and now they have to sew a garment while Raven is standing 3 feet away, staring at them over her glasses. It shifts them from a creative mindset into a defensive, self-editing mindset. It's brilliant reality television, but it is terrifying for those contestants.
It really is. And the rest of the cast, stacked. Flor from Season 3 coming back from the UK, LaLa Ri, our Miss Congeniality, our Golden Boot winner, which means she literally won an award for having the worst outfit in her season's history.
Iconic behavior.
Michael Maruli, the runner-up of UK Season 5, looking like drag excellence. Estrella Extravaganza from España, Nikita Even, Vibe. This roster is heavy hitters only.
And they had exactly 0 minutes to relax because Michelle Visage, who is hosting since Ru is away, walks in and announces the very first challenge.
A DIY Diva Design Challenge. To kick off an international all-stars, that is brutal.
But before the sewing, we had the mini-challenge chaos, the pass-around party bottom game.
I howled. They brought out pit crew members Liam and Sam, and the fans caught the call back immediately.
Oh, it was a brilliant callback. For those who don't know the deep lore, way back in Season 2, there was an executive from Absolute Vodka named Jeffrey Moran who sat on the judging panel. The queens were doing a comedy challenge, and someone made a joke about a pass-around party bottom, and Jeffrey Moran looked absolutely horrified.
So uncomfortable.
It became this massive inside joke in the fandom, bringing it back here as the actual name of a game where the queens pull boxes from the pit crew to get their fabric. So niche, so good.
Babes, the fabric struggles in that workroom were real.
Yeah.
Let's break down the mechanics of this, because some of these materials were hate crimes. NPB opens her box, and it's a literal bathroom rug. It's fuzzy, it's stiff, it looks like dryer lint. Estrella gets bright green lycra.
And Estrella even says this is the color Michelle hates the most. She is fully aware that green is a cursed color on the main stage, and she decides to try and make a Balenciaga-inspired sporty glam look out of it. But let me explain why lycra is a death sentence in a design challenge.
Please educate us.
Lycra stretches. It is meant to cling to the body. If you don't have a rigid structure underneath it, like a heavily boned corset, it will just sag, bag, and wrinkle everywhere. It doesn't hold a shape on its own.
A massive risky choice. But the biggest nightmare was happening over at LaLa Ri's station.
Poor LaLa. She gets this floral sequined fabric, which looks gorgeous, but it's a structural nightmare. It literally breaks the sewing machine. The needle snaps.
Wait, why does that happen?
Because sequins are made of hard plastic. When you run a standard sewing machine needle through 2 layers of fabric covered in tiny plastic discs at high speed, the needle is going to strike the plastic, deflect, hit the metal plate below, and snap in half.
Oh my.
You have to literally pluck the sequins out of the seam allowance by hand before you sew it, which takes hours. LaLa didn't have hours. Her machine breaks, the fabric catches, and she has to recut the entire front and back of her garment.
And you can see the PTSD in her eyes from her infamous Season 13 bag look. But I love LaLa's humor. She's so resilient. She's standing there. The machine is broken, and she just jokes about starting a luxury bag line since everyone loves to talk about her bags. That is how you handle trauma, Gorge. Make a brand out of it.
Exactly. Secure the bag. But amidst all the chaos, there was a really quiet, beautiful moment that caught me off guard.
You mean Coco Jumbo?
Yeah. Coco sitting there trying to sew and just having this really raw moment of vulnerability.
I got so emotional watching that. Coco admits that she has gained weight since her original season, and she explains that it was due to a severe depression following a physical injury and then the devastating loss of her mother. She said she felt like she had been living in grief and depression, masking it all with drinking and eating, and looking in the mirror was hard for her.
It was so real. In a room full of people screaming about hot glue and rhinestones, Coco just laid her heart out on the table. It takes immense bravery to be that honest on international television, especially about your changing body and the grief that causes it.
I just wanted to reach through the screen and hug her. So many of you in the Stark Squad have probably dealt with this. When you are navigating profound grief, your body holds on to that trauma. Your weight fluctuates. Your relationship with the mirror completely breaks down. Seeing Coco, who is so universally loved, admit that she struggles with imposter syndrome because of how her body has changed. She made so many people feel seen.
She truly did. It was a beautiful moment. And then, directly across the room from that beautiful moment of honesty, we have Vibe telling a bold-faced lie.
The whiplash of reality TV. I can't.
I have to call it out. Vibe is sitting there confidently whipping up a 1960s baby doll dress, perfectly measuring and cutting, and I'm sitting on my couch screaming, "Didn't you pretend you couldn't sew on season 4?
She literally acted helpless on her original season to lower expectations, only to win the challenge, and here she is doing it again. It's called sandbagging, bestie.
Sandbagging, exactly. It's what people do in corporate offices all the time. You tell your boss, "Oh, I'm not really good at Excel. This might take me all week." And then you finish it on Tuesday looking like a genius. Vibe is playing the psychological game. Lower the judge's expectations so that when you present competence, it looks like excellence.
She is a scam artist, and I respect the hustle. Well, the game moved very quickly to the main stage. Let's talk about this judging panel.
We have Michelle Visage at the helm, looking flawless. Reese Nicholson, our staple, bringing the sharp Aussie wit. Our extra special guest judge, Aussie DJ Beks. And raining down under winner Lazy Susan.
The fans on Reddit were raving about Lazy Susan. She didn't feel like a contestant playing judge. She felt like a seasoned veteran giving actual constructive critique.
A total star. But let's get into the DIY Divas runway extravaganza. 11 looks crafted in a single day. Gorge, kick us off with Art Simone.
Okay, Art Simone steps out as a leopard print princess slit demon. She had the fangs, she had the cheeky grin, and she said she started with a cave woman concept, but elevated it to an edgy, dark, sexy safari gown.
Now, here is the analytical breakdown. Art knows how to play the judges. She explicitly noted that Michelle Visage has an infamous, well-documented bias for leopard print.
It's basically a cheat code.
Wearing leopard print in front of Michelle is basically buying an insurance policy for your safety in the competition. The garment itself. It flowed beautifully, the slit was perfectly placed, but the print did the heavy lifting. Safe, smart, calculated.
I loved it. Okay, next up, M1's Jade So. Babes, this look.
I'm still gagged. A metallic red lava gown with intricate fabric manipulation and gold pearls.
She looked like an actual literal goddess emerging from a volcano.
Yeah.
The way she draped that metallic red lycra, which, as you mentioned earlier, is incredibly difficult to manipulate.
Let me explain why this was witchcraft. Metallic foil on top of a stretched lycra base is a nightmare. If you stretch it too much while sewing, the metallic foil cracks and flakes off.
Right.
If you use the wrong needle, the lycra runs like a cheap pair of pantyhose. The fact that she was able to create structural ruching and gathering that held its shape in a dusty workroom in 8 hours is a testament to her mastery of garment construction. The entire Reddit community was in unison. It belongs in a museum.
Flawlessly executed. Next, we have the scammer herself vibe.
Serving 60s monochromatic mod. It was black and white, beautifully patterned, with a matching purse and hair.
I absolutely loved the Twiggy reference, or as she called it, Twatty. It was so clean. The hem was perfectly even, which is so hard to do on a circle skirt.
It was very well done, but I'm just mad she lied about her sewing skills. You can't come out here with a perfectly hemmed baby doll dress and try to tell me you don't know what you're doing. The judges ate it up, though.
They did. Okay, moving on to our girl, LaLa Ri. She gave us a neon flapper moment.
I'm going to read her for filth.
Oh, be gentle, please.
I cannot be gentle when the garment is fundamentally incomplete. The color contrast with the neon heels was fun, yes, but the dress was entirely too short. She looked completely top-heavy because of the boxy cut of the bodice. She didn't put any darts in to tailor it to her waist. And worst of all, she literally had no panties on. You could see the promised land, mama.
Okay, I am going to playfully push back here. Let the pussy breathe, babe. It's drag. We are celebrating the human form. If she wanted to give us a little peekaboo moment, let her live.
It's a design challenge, not an anatomy class. You have to finish the garment. You cannot just stop sewing because you reached the waistline and got tired. A finished hem is the difference between safe and the bottom two.
Okay, fair. What about Flor? She came out as a rainbow bug.
Flor is gorgeous, but this was a mess of conflicting aesthetics. She had antenna on her head, giving us insect. She had a stiff, brightly colored fabric that she cut into this weird saloon girl silhouette in the middle. And then she had disco shoes on the bottom.
It was a lot.
It was too many stories. It was a bug that went to Studio 54 and then got lost in the Wild West. You have to edit. You know the old Coco Chanel rule. Before you leave the house, look in the mirror and take one thing off. Flor needed to take 3 things off.
See, I have to disagree with you on this one, bestie.
You're defending the disco bug.
Yes, because this is avant-garde club kid drag. Club kid aesthetic is all about maximalism, clashing patterns, and sensory overload. Drag isn't always about a clean, Chanel-edited silhouette. Sometimes it is about being a chaotic, over-accessorized alien bug. I thought it was fun and stupid in the best way possible.
Well, the judges agreed with me, so I rest my case. But then Raven steps onto the runway.
Mother arrived. A denim gown. High-waisted, exposing the clavicle fitted to the gods, and a denim pussycat wig.
For the Snark Squad, a pussycat wig is a very short, flat, bob-style wig that sits close to the head. Making one out of thick denim in a few hours requires intense structural engineering.
Let's talk about the denim, because denim is heavy.
Denim is notoriously difficult in these challenges. It frays instantly when you cut it, meaning you have to finish every single inner seam. It is incredibly thick, meaning if you sew 2 seams together, your sewing machine will often just jam and refuse to go over the bump.
It breaks the needles again.
Exactly. Raven used top stitching, which is that visible decorative stitch you see on the outside of jeans, to perfectly tailor this gown, highlighting the shoulders and pulling in the waist. It looked like ready-to-wear couture.
Next was Nikita Eamon. She had this 3D structured red velvet gown with beautiful draping, and I'm going to argue right now she was severely robbed of a top spot.
Robbed.
Yes, because sewing velvet is a nightmare. Velvet has what is called a pile, those little raised threads that give it its texture. When you put 2 pieces of velvet together and try to sew them, the piles push against each other, causing the fabric to slip continuously under the sewing foot. It's called velvet creep.
Okay, dictionary.
The fact that she was able to ruche and drape that heavy velvet without it twisting out of shape was stunning. She looked like a Polynesian princess.
I will concede the mechanics of velvet creep, but if you looked closely during her walk, the applique she added was coming unstuck in certain shots. It was a solid safe, but it lacked the absolute jaw-dropping factor of Jade's.
I still say robbed. Next, Estrella Extravaganza in her green Balenciaga sporty glam.
She literally looked like a walking green screen.
Stop, don't do her like that.
I'm serious. Remember what we said about Lycra? It needs structure. Estrella just wrapped green Lycra over a corset, and because Lycra stretches, it bagged around the waistline, and then she threw 20 plastic bangles on. When your fabric is that loud and that stretchy, adding chunky jewelry just makes it look heavy and confused.
Okay, but what about Nicole Paige Brooks? She walked out in T-girl feminine glam.
From a bathroom rug.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly impressed. She made dryer lint look so good. She engineered this beautiful silhouette, a gorgeous train, and then she turned around and gave us a full ass-crack reveal in the back. She said, cash up front, swipe in the back. It was camp, it was polished, and it was hilarious.
To take that hideous matted material and turn it into something glamorous takes a very specific kind of old-school drag engineering. You have to carve into the material to give it shape. Major props to NPB.
Next, Michael Maruli.
Absolute perfection. Goth glam velvet tiger. She came out looking like the rich widow who definitely poisoned her husband's tea.
It was so opulent. The fit was skin tight, the matching sash and jewelry. It was impeccable construction. You could not see a single raw hem. It looked like she brought it from home.
Which is the highest compliment you can give in a design challenge. And finally, Coco Jumbo.
Pistachio green party girl.
Yeah.
Honestly, the dress was simple. It was a cute line party dress. But her smile, her energy, she sold that garment. She walked out there beaming, radiating joy, and you couldn't help but smile with her.
It was safe construction, but winner energy.
Exactly. So we get to the critiques. The judges declare the top 2 are M1s, Jade So and Michael Maruli. The bottom 2 are LaLa Ri and Flor. Everyone else is safe.
But not before Michelle pointedly looks at Raven and Nikita and says, some of you safe queens could have been in the top, and you know who you are.
Oh, that was so messy. Is Michelle stirring the pot immediately?
Letting them know they're the ones to beat.
And that pot boiled right over and untucked. Babes, the untucked drama was everything. First of all, I have to laugh at LaLa Ri's pure, unadulterated delusion, sprinkled with painful honesty.
She is sitting on that couch, looking at the girls, and she says with a straight face, I wasn't in the bottom because my dress was bad, the color was great, the construction was lovely. I am in the bottom because my pussy was out.
I fell off my chair. She
Yeah.
is so iconic. She completely rejects the idea that her sewing was flawed. It was merely a modesty issue.
Total deflection, but it makes for amazing television. Meanwhile, Flor is on the other side of the room, fuming.
She was so frustrated. The judges called her a bug. She's trying to plead her case to Jade, saying her outfit had more details and was more elevated than LaLa's. But Jade is just staring at her, deadpan.
Which brings up the most fascinating strategic tension of the episode. Under the All-Stars rules, the top 2 queens lip sync, and the winner gets the power to eliminate one of the bottom queens.
Right.
If Jade wins the lip sync, and she chooses to eliminate a U.S. girl, LaLa Ri, what happens next? Will Raven, the U.S. matriarch and resident producer, seek revenge?
The international politics of it all. Jade even says in her confessional, if I choose LaLa's lipstick, maybe Raven will revenge, girl. It is a chess match.
So they head back to the main stage. The top 2, Michael Maruli and M1's Jade. So, lip sync to Melodrama by our guest judge, Beks.
A great up-tempo track. And Michael Maruli just devoured it. She had the comedy, the precision. She hit every beat. Jade looked beautiful, but Michael had the fire. Michael takes the win.
And then Michael has the lipstick in her hand. The music is tense. She is about to send either Flor or LaLa packing. And Michelle Visage stops everything.
The twist. Michelle announces a non-elimination premiere. Both bottom queens are safe. We get to keep everyone for another week.
I rolled my eyes, I'm not gonna lie.
Why? I loved it. I want to see more of him.
Because, Mama, do non-elimination premieres lower the stakes of the competition? We just sat through an hour of high-stress sewing, tears, strategic alliances, and untucked pleading only for Michelle to say, just kidding, nobody goes home. Doesn't that make the whole episode feel a bit pointless?
No. I have to push back on that. I think non-elimination premieres are completely necessary, especially for an international all-stars season. The Snark Squad needs time to fall in love with these queens.
I guess.
Some viewers might only know the U.S. girls, or only the Down Under girls. If you send Estrella or Flor home episode 1, the global audience never gets to experience their magic. It sets the baseline, it builds the tension, and it lets the fans connect. Next week, the bloodbath begins.
Fine. I'll allow it for the character development, but then the cliffhanger.
The workroom alarm sounds, the red lights are flashing, and Michelle Visage is on a landline phone saying, how soon can you get here? Cut the black.
The audacity to leave us hanging like that.
So good. Now that we've recapped the chaos, let's naturally transition into handing out our highest honors. Segment 1. The koala stamp of approval.
Let's start with best runway.
We both know the answer to this. We have to crown M1's Jade or so.
Absolutely. The metallic red lava gown. The way she conquered the physics of metallic foil stretching over lycra without cracking the material, it looked incredibly expensive and highly conceptual. To conceptualize and execute that in a dusty workroom in one day is literal witchcraft. She earned that stamp.
Without a doubt. Okay, best challenge performance overall.
I have to give this to Michael Maruli. She didn't just survive the design challenge, she dominated it. She gave us a flawless, perfectly tailored velvet garment that fit her like a glove.
Conquered the velvet creep.
Conquered the velvet creep. She presented a clear character on the runway, the murderous rich widow, and then she completely demolished the lip sync. It was a masterclass in how to play the game.
Flawless victory.
Yeah.
Next koala stamp. Funniest queen.
This is tough.
It really is. For me, it's Coco Jumbo. Her confessional energy is just so infectious. Even when she's talking about the season 1 drama, she has this twinkle in her eye. She knows how to make great TV.
I hear you, but my stamp goes to Nicole Paige Brooks. NPB walking into that room with her blunt, chaotic, I'm here for the jewelry, and the cash energy was hilarious. She is so profoundly unbothered by the younger queens. She gives zero you-know-whats, and it is refreshing.
Okay, I respect that. Final koala stamp. Biggest surprise.
I'm giving my stamp to NPB again. Turning a literal crusty bath mat into a high-fashion, elegant tea gown with a train. That is sorcery. I fully expected her to hot glue a nightmare together, but she proved why she's a legend.
My biggest surprise stamp has to go to Raven. The sheer fact that she is actually getting behind a sewing machine, cutting denim, and walking the runway as a competitor instead of sitting safely behind the judge's table. I am still in shock. I keep waiting for Rue to pop out of a cake and tell us it's a prank.
It is the gag of the season so far, which brings us perfectly to our next breakdown. Let's put on a reading glasses for segment 2, Snatch Game Scorecard, where we look at the macro level of this DIY Diva challenge.
What was the biggest success of the challenge?
The overall caliber of construction. And the fans on Reddit were loud about this. They noted that this episode completely slaughtered the design challenge happening simultaneously on Canada's Drag Race All-Stars.
Oh, the shade.
It's true. The Down Under girls had better base materials, sure, but their execution was light years ahead. Almost everyone delivered a fully realized, recognizable silhouette. There were no taped-together pieces of cardboard walking down that runway. The standard was set incredibly high.
It was a feast for the eyes. But where there is success, there is failure. What was the biggest miss?
The bottom half finishing. Across the board.
You are obsessed with the hems.
It's where the eye goes. LaLa Ri forgetting to wear underwear or construct a lower half of her dress. Flor over-accessorizing a stiff fabric and losing her shape entirely. A garment has to look good from the waist down, babes. You can't just bedazzle a corset and call it a day.
The bottom half bandit strikes again. Okay, who surprised you in the challenge?
Honestly, Vibe.
The scammer.
Yes. Surviving the I can't sew curse is rare. Usually when a queen says I don't sew, they are packing their bags. Vibe played the corporate sandbagging game, whipped out a perfect mod dress, and secured her safety. It was surprisingly competent for someone playing the victim.
And who should have pushed further?
Estrella.
You really hated the green Balenciaga.
I didn't hate it, but wrapping green lycra around a corset and throwing on 20 plastic bangles isn't pushing the boundaries of drag. Not in an international all-stars format. You are representing your country against the best in the world. You have to give me structure. You have to give me fashion, not just a stretchy tube dress. She needs to elevate next week or she is in danger.
Strong words, but fair. Let's move into segment 3, the Queen Energy Meter. Out of our top heavy hitters, who is radiating the most winner energy right now? Let's rank the top contenders based on charisma, confidence, fashion, performance, and momentum.
Coming in at number 1, undeniably, is Michael Maruli. High confidence, impeccable fashion execution, and massive momentum from winning the lip-sync. She is the front runner out of the gate.
Agreed. Number 2 on the energy meter, M1's Jade So. Her charisma is off the charts. Visually, she is unmatched in this cast. That lava gown proves she has the taste level to win. But she does need to push harder in the lip syncs. She lost to Michael fairly cleanly. If she can match her performance energy to her visual energy, she is unstoppable.
Absolutely. Number 3 is Raven. Terrifying levels of confidence in fashion. She knows exactly what she's doing. She has the intimidation factor. The only reason she isn't higher is the lingering question, is she a real contestant? If she is, she's a threat. If she's a mole, her energy meter is irrelevant.
The wild card. And rounding out our top 4 on the meter, Coco Jumbo.
Maximum charisma, maximum heart. She has the emotional backing of the fans and the judges. But she needs to elevate the fashion to compete with the UK and US girls. A simple pistachio party dress won't save her in a ball challenge.
She needs to bring the drama to the runway. I believe in her. Which brings us to our final segment, segment 4, Down Under Predictions. Time to look into our empty cocktail glasses for next week. Who is rising in your eyes, bestie?
For me, it's Nikita Iman.
Yes. She was hungry this episode. She was visibly frustrated to only be safe. She felt robbed of a top spot, and she is going to come out swinging next week. When a queen with that much talent gets slightly overlooked in episode 1, they usually set the stage on fire in episode 2.
I can see that. But who's in danger is Flor.
Poor Flor.
If she doesn't learn to edit her busy aesthetics, Michelle Visage is going to devour her. Michelle hates clutter on a runway. If Flor comes out looking like a rainbow bug wearing disco shoes again, she is going home. Period.
Brutal, but true. Who is your pick for next week's runway standout?
Art Simone. She played it safe this week with the leopard print to appease Michelle. But Art has an archive of incredible, avant-garde, expensive looks. She wants to prove why she is down under royalty, and she's not going to hold back anymore. Expect high art from Art.
I am so ready for it. Okay, bestie, it's time for our ridiculous predictions. Give me your wildest theory for next week. What was that phone call at the end of the episode?
Okay, my completely ridiculous prediction that somehow feels possible, the phone call, is Michelle Visage calling to bring back an eliminated queen from Canada's Drag Race just to maximize global confusion. They just ship a Canadian girl over on a red-eye flight to walk in and ruin the alliances.
Oh my gosh, just drop Fear Calicious into the Down Under workroom and watch the world burn. I would live. My prediction is that the mysterious phone call is RuPaul herself. Rue is on the line, demanding that Raven fly back to the U.S. immediately to do her makeup for some gig, meaning Raven gets pulled from the competition mid-episode.
Oh my god. The sabotage. Sorry, babe, your drag dreams are over. I need my nose contoured. That would be the most iconic, tragic television moment in history.
It feels so possible, though.
Yeah.
We will have to wait and see. Babes, we have survived the chaos, the early morning recording session, and the self-checkout machine.
Barely. My spritz is empty and my nerves are fried.
Before we wrap up, we have to ask the Snark Squad. Drop into our comments, hit us up on socials, and tell us which queen absolutely stole this premiere episode for you.
And more importantly, what would your imaginary drag name be? Ophelia Feelings and Lexi Icon need some sisters in our delusion house.
Yes. And which DIY runway look was your absolute favorite? Let us know if you agree with our koala stamps or if you think I was right to defend Flor's disco bug.
Thank you all for listening and spiraling with us.
Remind yourselves to subscribe, leave a glowing review so we can afford more artisanal grocery store popcorn, and share the podcast with another drag-loving babe. Stay fabulous, stay fearless, and we'll see you on the Snark side.